All right, here we go. All right, this is Danny with the Crypto Show, and I'm here in Monterrey, Mexico at Blockchain Land with Jose. And we've set a Guinness Book of World Records, and that is having the two coolest heads of hair in cryptocurrency together in one place. What do you think of that?
Well, thank you, man. Thank you for being here once again in my event. Yeah, it's been working on it for some months now, but well, yeah, we're here in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico, which is to the northern border of Mexico, to Texas, just to have reference. That's in up to the northern border here, and we did an event. It's called Blockchain Land Nuevo León. It was an event for 10,000 people, and we had great companies with us and great sponsors. We had Binance, Bitso, BitGet, lots of companies from all around the world and speakers. And yeah, in the last day we just had our attempt for the Guinness World Record of the largest cryptocurrency class that was done with Binance and with CC. We did the lessons. We are awaiting just the final verdict to know if we've broken the record. And well, besides that, we had all the speakers. We had networking events. We had a workshop. So yeah, bringing blockchain strong here to Mexico and to Nuevo León.
Yeah. So the first time I attended this was about 4 years ago, maybe a little bit more in Jalisco. And Talent-land is a much bigger project. This is just like a small subset of Talent-land. And the last time I went to Talent-land, it was like 30,000 people, and you've got 10,000?
Yeah.
Or is that with in person and online? Or
Okay, so we are the biggest event of technology, innovation, business, and talent development in Latin America. Our biggest event was in 2019, before the pandemics. We had 62,000 attendees. This
Wow.
year, despite the pandemic and the restrictions, we had 26,000 people. And we also have a small section for kids and for people that want to know what the event is about. And we have a free zone there. We had over 40,000 attendees too. And yeah, we do that event every year, and that event is Blockchain Land is a part of that event, and we
Right.
have other lands. We had, for example, this year Metaverse Land with Telcel, which is the biggest operator in Latin America for mobile phones, and we also had Binance, and we also had Meta Facebook. They gave us, for example, 100 Oculus for people to have experience. And we have developer land, we have creative land, we have talent woman, we have another one called superpowers if you want to develop your personal development and your career. So we have thematics and we have content for all ages and for all topics.
what was really interesting to me is like all of the kids you had. One really cool thing was the drone racing. That like blew me away. They're racing drones indoors. That was cool. But they turned the whole lower floor or the garage into a tent camping area,
Yeah.
and there was all the kids that were in the hackathons were down there. It was so cool. And then there was a lot of kids from elementary schools and stuff that actually had free tickets. They're like, you're really encouraging, the kids in Mexico to go forward with technology, and that was impressive to me. That it wasn't just a money grab like so many other conferences. Or you guys were really giving back and creating something special for Mexico.
Yeah, this is a long-term project in which, when they invited me to take part, I mean, it has a long-term view to develop talent in Mexico, and also to bring all this content and education to the world. So we do a great effort with local governments and also with different brands, universities, and schools to bring as much kids and as much people that probably would have never had contact with all this type of content. So there are great efforts that, for example, some state governments do, and they bring buses full of students for them to know what the event is about. They also sponsor them. They bring them. So each year we have thousands of students having this first approach to technology, robotics, programming, blockchain, Bitcoin, and all these thematics. And what happens is, like, in 2, 3, 4 years, that kid is going to go into university and come back to the event. And what we have also seen in some years afterwards, they're going to be the CEO of the companies, and they're also going to be here. So when they're students, when they're starting their career, or when they're already being successful, they continue being part of the event.
Right. That'll be great. to build up Mexico. Like right now, you have so many people that are, they're hell bent on going to the U.S. to build a better life, but if they can work online and stay here, you keep the talent in Mexico. That's going to improve the whole country.
Yeah.
You know.
And well, what we also do is the broadcast. So during pandemics, unfortunately, we couldn't do any events, but we started doing online events, and we have had over 2 million people online on our online events. So we started also growing an online crowd, and every event that we have between 50,000 to 100,000 people connected every day, which is also great. So this event, besides being physically here with the 10,000 people and the other with also the 20,000, 60,000 people. We also have a huge audience online seeing this, and also you can see all the replays. So that is also great for everyone that cannot be here or missed a conference or a chat, that they can also continue seeing all this content.
You know, so if you don't know who Jose is, he started out with an exchange that was actually servicing Latin America and Mexico called Unisend, and then he shifted over to Bitso because Bitso was actually doing more business, and he became I guess the lead payments.
VP?
Yeah, the BP payments officer, and from there he's been all over the world really, and you're also doing other stuff around Latin America to promote cryptocurrency. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so since I started here in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and blockchain industry, I mean, this is my 10th year in this industry since I started my first companies and startups, and really starting looking seriously into this. So what I started to get to know is the Latin American community, especially, for example, the Argentinian community. For example, the people that are involved in La BitConf, the Latin American Bitcoin Conference. Rodolfo is here. He's a great friend, and
Yes.
we also collaborate. I mean, we don't see each other as competitors. I see them as all of them as a very good friends, and I help them co-organize. Last year we
Yeah.
did it in El Salvador. This year they're doing in Buenos Aires. So what we do is integrate the communities, the different events, and try to make all this strong in Latin America. And well, besides that, yeah, I've also done stuff with other companies, other events, governments from other countries. So yeah, I'm happy to do whatever we can to make this grow and to make a better world with this type of economy.
I've noticed you down in El Salvador doing some things. Tell me what's your opinion of El Salvador, and how do you think that will affect crypto?
Well, it's great. It's awesome. I mean, how in less than a year they could make that huge implementation. It's one of the biggest implementations for Bitcoin and blockchain in the world. I mean, it's amazing that they have over 6 million users. A wallet that just has been for a year, and that they're doing a nationwide effort. So I had the opportunity to know the team of President Bukele when he was a candidate at an event where they started doing all the planning of this modernization and all these different strategies. So I kept in contact with President Bukele's team, and when he announced the Bitcoin as legal tender, I contacted them and I told them that I wanted to go over there and know what they were doing and how I could help. And I went there initially for a week and almost stayed for a year at the end.
Right. You know, he was buying in pretty high, and he's got quite a bit of the country's money invested into cryptocurrency. Do you think he's got the wherewithal to hold it until the next bull market? Do you think that he understands Bitcoin enough to know that,
Yeah.
or do you think that the people of the country will attack him for squandering in their opinion, squandering
Yeah.
the country's money?
Yeah, I mean, there of course this hasn't been a good year for Bitcoin. I mean, it had extraordinary gains during lots of years, and we all have seen different cycles. But there's an objective for that, for those Bitcoin. It's not to speculate. It's not to invest. It's to have the country is a counterparty, let's say, of all the population. What happens? The Chivo wallet gives you immediate convertibility between dollars and Bitcoin without any cost. So in order to do that, they needed to have this reserve of bitcoins and also dollars so they can do all this exchange.
Right.
So the objective of making all these purchases that is already like in their budget since last year is buying $150 million in total of Bitcoin, and for them to be the counterparty of all the users. So instead of them yeah, you did the Bitcoin adoption, and instead of them waiting for each one in the population to open an account and an exchange, they created their nationwide wallet and did the integration. And with their national ID, they have access to this. So once they have that, well, how are you going to convert immediately? Well, they became the counterparty with this reserve.
I like that they put all the effort into this wallet. I talked to Arlie, who's actually one of the guys working on the wallet, and there's no fees. Like it's more about getting people ease of use and not being taxed to death. So that's pretty impressive coming from a government.
Yeah, not only that. I mean, in Latin America, in Mexico, in El Salvador, the unbanked, the people that do not have access to financial services, are over 50%. In El Salvador, that was around 80%. So you also have to cover all those people that have never had access to all this, and that their economy will not evolve in their business. So this is a great opportunity. There's a lot of people that are being onboarded to financial system through Chivo Wallet and through Bitcoin.
If they have the strength to hold until the next bull market, El Salvador is going to be in one hell of a good position. What do you?
Yeah, I mean, this is a long-term project, and it should continue growing. Not only, I mean, the value, but the infrastructure that they're building is amazing. From having nothing a couple of years ago, now they have the biggest, for example, ATM operator, one of the biggest wallets in the world. So they're building important infrastructure that will help a lot to their population.
Awesome. I guess I'll cut it here. Definitely check out Talent-land.mx. That'll give you any information about that. And he also mentioned La BitConf. That is definitely a good conference. That's one of my other favorite ones to go to in Latin America. It's La BitConf. Check that one out. It's going to be in Buenos Aires. And man, as always, fucking good to see you, Thor.
Thank you, man.
Cool.